All right, so Apple announced a few new products, but I'm going to be talking about two of them that are of particular interest to me. AirTags and the new colorful iMacs. And of the two, the one that's most interesting to me is actually the AirTags, because these came out to be a product that is quite different from how I imagined them to be. A tracking tag from Apple, right? So these are $29. They're just small tracking tags. And first of all, the price, $29 for one or $100 for 4-pack. And at that price point, it's actually a little bit cheaper than the kind of standard going rate for a tracking device like this. Like the ones from Samsung, a little bit more expensive. Tile trackers are similar, maybe a little bit more expensive. I just did not expect Apple to deliver something that was reasonably priced with a user replaceable battery that lasts a year. In fact, I thought this would be like a $40 or maybe even $50 accessory from them, but Apple being Apple, this AirTag, if you look at it, has no loop or hole or any kind of mechanism on it to be able to connect it to your keys or whatever it is that you're trying to track, at least not elegantly, like unless you're using duct tape to stick it onto things. So you have to buy accessories. Apple's really thought of everything when it comes to making money. Now keep in mind that in order to use precision finding, like the ability to track an item extremely accurately, you do need one of the newer iPhones, like iPhone 11 or 12, because the older stuff can only connect with it through Bluetooth, and so you get close, like maybe 10 meters in terms of accuracy. But if you want the most precise location tracking possible, you do need one of the newer iPhones. But this is where things get cool. The way that this tracking mechanism works is quite special. So it connects with the huge network of the millions of iPhones that are out there to be able to locate stuff. So as an example, let's say I have a set of keys that had an AirTag on it. If I lost those keys, like let's say I left it on a park bench or something, a random person walking by who has an iPhone in their pocket would be able to connect with that lost set of keys and be able to send that location data to me, all anonymously and encrypted and securely. But that is a huge network of tracking tools without installing any kind of apps. It's actually pretty neat. Now, the other thing that interests me is privacy. So when you look at a device like this, a tracking tool like this, it could be used maliciously. Like say someone took a tracking device and put it into your backpack or into your purse, or like duct taped it to the bottom of your car. So this type of scenario, even though it's not something that's going to happen very often, it is something that obviously is of concern, right? Now you have these tracking devices with this incredible network that's capable of locating it so accurately. People could use this in a malicious manner. So Apple has this thing where if an AirTag has left the proximity of its owner and it's following me or keeping up with my movements, it will notify me. It'll send a signal to my phone, an iPhone, and it'll tell me that this unknown AirTag that doesn't belong to me is following me, is keeping up with me. And I have the option of disabling it. Like let's say I'm borrowing something from a friend, or I'm borrowing someone's car. It's like, hey, there's an AirTag that's just been following this whole time. You'd be like, yeah, it's cool. It's, I'm aware of that tracking mechanism. It's fine, right? But if it's not someone that you've borrowed something from, or if it's an unknown source, now you know, and you can disable that person's AirTag. So you can turn it off so that the tracking ends. That's pretty cool. Now, if you don't have an iPhone, let's say you have an Android phone, and obviously there's no like Find My app on Android phones, it will emit a signal. It does this automatically regardless of which phone you're using, but it'll let out an audible signal, just be like, I'm here. It'll notify you that this tracking device is no longer within the vicinity of its owner, and just to make you aware. And I think that is very, very smart. It's just well thought out. Now, another thing is if you lose an item, let's say I have a pair of keys and I have an AirTag on it and I've lost it now, right? If some other person finds an AirTag, they can take their phone, as long as it's an NFC-enabled device, so an iPhone or an Android phone, bring it up to the device. It'll pop up a clickable link on the phone. So you can go to a website and it'll show the serial number of the AirTag, as well as any information that you, as the owner, have put onto that site. So if you've lost it, you can now activate, I've lost it, and you can now put up some kind of burner email or burner phone number or some way for a finder to be able to contact you. How cool is that? Now, I've actually found a tile before. I found a tile tracker that had a set of keys on it. This was like a couple years ago. And I was like, what do I do? I actually looked it up, right? I have a tile tracker with keys, looked it up. The only way for me to be able to connect with its owner is that I had to install an app, like a tile app, and it would communicate with the network now. It's similar to this kind of thing, like a whole network of users, but there's so much more friction. It's so much more involved to be able to get this thing that I found and get it back to its original owner. So this NFC feature feels so much more elegant. So for $30, you get a pretty well-featured tracking device, if that's your jam. Okay, let's talk about iMacs, these new colorful iMacs. So the first thing I gotta address is the aesthetics of it, because this is, it seems to be the main point of this whole device, how it looks. So these have very colorful backs, and we're talking like vibrant versions of each color. And I think they've pulled these 6 colors from the original 6 colors on the old school Apple logo. So the green, yellow, orange, red, purple, blue. But if you look at the green, it's more teal. Like, I love this color. It's my favorite color, but I would have expected a more green-like green considering the palette that they pulled from, but I'm not gonna complain. That teal looks awesome. Now on the front, you have the controversial white bezel as well as a fairly sizable chin. And this whole front area is covered in a single pane of glass. So that chin area isn't the aluminum finish that we've had from previous iMacs. It's also a glass covered segment. But this whole design, now that I've had a day to process it, I feel like it does exactly what it was meant to do. Like, this isn't a product that's gonna go into render farms or go into like hardcore work environments. This is a consumer product that is meant for consumer environments, right? It's supposed to look good. It's supposed to like match your living space, to match the decor and color of the places that you're gonna be placing it. It's a very aesthetic focused product that is meant to be iconic and memorable so that you're gonna remember this. You see it, you recognize exactly what it is. Like, how many other all-in-one devices have white bezels? You see this, you know it's the iMac, you know it's the new iMac, and all the colors. It's exactly what it's meant to do. It's not gonna please everybody, right? It's not gonna be this super sleek, professional thing that's like stealth mode. It's not for that. It's meant to pop in just the right way for people that are into that kind of thing. And it's super thin, 11.5 millimeters. Like, if you look at your phone, it's maybe 7.5, 8 millimeters. It's barely bigger than that. It's strangely thin for a computer of this caliber. The whole thing is clearly focused on aesthetics. That's why they have the color matched keyboard, the color matched trackpad, or the color matched mouse, and even the power cable that connects to it is color matched. It's magnetically attached, very cool, but color matched. And also the lightning cable, the thing that they include in the box to charge the keyboard or charge the mouse, is color matched to the device. I wouldn't be surprised, now that I'm thinking of it, I wouldn't be surprised if the stickers that come in the box are also color matched. I don't know, but that's my guess, that they match the color of the device. But in this pursuit of aesthetic glory, there's one thing that kind of surprised me. It's that the performance of these M1 iMacs is the same as their MacBooks and like the Mac Mini. And normally, traditionally, when it came to iMacs, they would run just more powerful chips. They would run desktop chips, right? The MacBooks would run mobile versions of Intel chips, but the iMacs would run desktop versions because there's a little bit more room in there and you have it plugged up to a wall. You don't have to worry too much about power consumption or thermal constraints. There's just ability to do more when it comes to an iMac. But in this case, it's the same. Now, granted, M1 performance is good, right? Really good. So it gets a pass, but it's just strange that they didn't do anything extra when it came to this different kind of form factor. They just really focused on keeping it thin and really nice to look at. Now, in regards to the white bezels, I think I'm in the minority here, but I think it does what it's supposed to do, right? It's supposed to look a certain way. It's supposed to be memorable and iconic and recognizable, and it does all that with the white bezels. And personally, I like it, right? I like a lot of white colored and silver colored tech. That's if you follow my channel, but I think this was the right choice. Going black would have been, I don't think it would have been the move for this particular product because of the target market that they're going for. Now, in terms of pricing, so it starts at $12.99, and if you pay a little bit more, $200, it's actually pretty substantial. You do get a couple things that are noteworthy. So you get Touch ID on the keyboard, you get an Ethernet jack on the power supply, you also get 2 extra Thunderbolt ports, as well as access to more color options for the device. But you also have a slightly improved M1 chip. So at the base model, $12.99, you get a 7-core GPU, kind of like the MacBook Air, but if you pay that $200 premium, you get the full 8-core GPU that is like the full M1 experience. But that is the iMac. I think it's a very colorful device. I think for the people that are into that kind of thing, they want that consumer level product. I think it hits for a lot of people. I think it's gonna be pretty popular. Okay, if I'm gonna be doing full reviews on this stuff. If you're interested in it, be subscribed. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. See you guys next time.